All right, I think I fixed it. I think we should be good. I think we're all right now. The kids are all right. Y'all let me know if I fixed the audio issue. I shouldn't be muted anymore. I can, in fact, see that the bar is moving for my audio. But I think we're good. So tap that screen, share the live with your friends. Let's come hang out for a little bit. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of shit. What's up, Dave? You can hear me now. Yay. I don't know what happened. My mic just decided that it was going to disconnect. So I had to redo my mic, but we're good. Buenos días. ¿Cómo estás? We're hanging out. We're going to do a little bit of shenanigans and tomfoolery for a little bit. Just our everyday hangout sesh where we talk about stuff. My dog is currently jumping on the door because I left her outside. I thought she wanted to be outside because it was nice, but she doesn't. So I'm going to go let her in. You get your friends in here. Tell them to bring their ass and hang out with us. I will be right back. I'm coming, Zena. I'm coming. You love the outside. You don't want to be out there? Oh, thank you for the hug. What a sweet baby. Okay. He's so excited. She's so excited. She's so excited. Okay, I'm back. She's so excited to be inside now. Now she smells like outside. But we're here. We're hanging out. Hopefully we don't get restricted today because apparently I was restricted yesterday and I didn't know. Hopefully all of my audio is working appropriately. Good morning. How are you? What? Why you say it like that? What's wrong? Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Oh. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. They can't do that. Correct.
Turning past precedents, we're seeing this administration do things like violate the First Amendment by deleting comments, even if it
Yeah.
is Midas touch,
Well, they're doing it on
and
TikTok too.
doing it on TikTok and doing it because they don't care because we have this new precedent that former past decisions of the Supreme Court just are basically nullified
Right.
when they themselves overturned their own previous decisions. So
Right.
it's just kind of an upside down world, you know. It's just crazy.
Yeah. It's almost like the Constitution doesn't mean a fucking thing anymore.
And the hypocrisy and irony of all of the MAGA people on TikTok that were claiming censorship, claiming First Amendment violation rights and stuff, are dead silent. Just like the same people that fly their "Don't Tread on Me" flags are dead silent with ATF and DEA in the streets. I thought all these
Right.
2A Americans were all against ATF, and
It's
now they're
almost
like
as if
just
the hypocrisy
clapping for them.
exists.
It's crazy.
It is. It really is. I just I have no words. Like I think not I think I know that they don't understand what their rights actually are. And so when their rights are truly being infringed upon, they're just like, whatever. But let the brown woman on TikTok mute them. They'll lose their fucking mind. What about my
But
First Amendment rights? I'm
But
not the
see,
government.
that's one of the things that blows my mind the most is I agree with you. It's like they don't know what their rights are. But at the same time, just this last administration during Biden, they claimed to know what their rights were and were crying for them.
Right.
So it's like, I mean, I understand it's the old tale of, rights for thee, not for we, but
Right.
it just blows my mind. There's so many in our country today that, especially these 2A guys, that are
Yeah.
some of these 2A guys I personally know are
Mm.
fully against any ATF, it being an agency as a whole or seeing them out in public. And now it's like they're cheering them on like it's a ticker tape parade.
But why
It
is
it just
that? But
it
why
just
is that?
blows my mind.
But why is that?
Because
Who are
they're
they
all
targeting?
brainwashed.
But who are
Well,
these
yeah,
agencies mainly
exactly.
targeting?
But not even that. We're seeing ATF on the street in DC doing nothing but just walking laps, not doing what like DHS is doing all throughout the rest of the country, but just being essentially a presence in DC because all those National Guard, all those Fed agents, they're not doing much of anything. Maybe like
No, it's an intimidation
illegally,
tactic.
it,
Tactic.
it, it fully is. But it's just crazy to me that you're literally seeing patches of ATF all throughout the country, and these 2A Trumpers who, for their entire lives, have been like, no, abolish ATF. We don't want them. It's an infringement upon our Second Amendment rights. Are now like, hey, yeah, I want to see more of you on my streets.
Right.
It's just completely insane how easily this mentality is flipped.
But because the thing is that they're not targeting people who are like them, right? The
Right.
target is
Right.
people who are poor, people who are unhoused, and people who are brown. And in
Well, and that's
most
kind of
cases, the
why.
people who are cheering this shit on do not
Yeah.
fit into those categories.
Right.
But as the poem says, first they came for blank, and I did
Right.
nothing because I wasn't them.
Right.
And just insert whatever it is.
I know.
So eventually, they will make their way through all of the marginalized communities, and no one will have rights.
Right. Yeah,
And
they'll come
people,
for everybody. I mean, it's history doesn't lie. It's the authoritarian playbook. You disarm the general public, and then
mm-hmm,
you offer them, signing bonuses and stuff to join my private army, and you can hold on to your 2A if you join my private army. I mean, DeSantis started it with in your state with
mm-hmm,
his little private army.
yep,
And now Trump's trying to push it out to a national scale. I was thinking about that too, seeing a lot of not a lot of, but seeing these videos of DHS roaming the streets and doing these unconstitutional uh, seizures, search and seizures, stop and frisks, basically, while still claiming on a national stage that, oh, we've got open investigations on all these individuals. Okay, name them. Name the individuals that you're supposedly investigating and rounding up. I bet you can't. But I am noticing an increase of women and marginalized women, Latin women, Hispanic women, joining DHS, and it's because Trump and our country has just pushed people to a point of survival peak where they will take any kind of incentive to be able to feed their family, including going against their own people.
but that's
Uh,
the goal. That's the
I know.
goal. That's the goal to turn
Yeah.
the people on the people.
Right. Here's $50,000 if you arrest your cousin.
Right. The goal is to turn the people on the people.
It's just not. I mean, our country has always had problems. We've always had issues from the past that we haven't rectified that have bled into the future.
Yeah.
Especially dealing with institutionalized racism and things of that nature. But it's just, man, I'm
But
really
they think
grasping
institutionalized
at
racism doesn't
straws.
exist. They think
I know,
institutionalized racism doesn't exist.
even though the incarceration numbers stats just do not lie.
Right. And the exoneration rates
Right.
to go along with that.
Yeah.
Like, it, the math does math, but for them it's too complicated. It's too complicated. I mean, even some things as simple as explaining to them how, I made a video about it this morning, the big beautiful bill. I know that you saw it. How it was going to impact each and every one of their daily
Right.
lives, and they're like, nah, you're being dramatic. Oh, you're fear mongering. Like somebody on YouTube right now said that I'm fear mongering. Like, no, the proof is in the pudding, friend. We said by fall you're going to start seeing these changes. You're going to start seeing an increase in your electric bill. We're going to see people losing their SNAP benefits. We're going to see all of these things start happening. And guess what? It's coming to fruition right now. Like, I think it's absolutely insane that my electricity bill, now that we're like towards the end of peak summer rates, is increased by 23 fucking percent.
Right. While simultaneously your energy company is getting subsidies.
No, that's the problem, is that they stopped a lot of the subsidies in this big beautiful bill that were there to help them
Oh,
build infrastructure, new facilities, upgrade stuff. Like all of that, those things that they used to get subsidies from the federal government are gone. So now the cost, just like the tariffs, is going to be passed on to the consumer. And a lot of places don't have selection of choice for your electricity. Like you
right.
have, here in Florida, there's FPL and there's Duke Energy. I only have the option of Duke Energy where I live. So
Yeah, I'm on
whatever it
Duke.
is that they choose to charge me is what I have to pay if I want electricity.
Did my was my comment on that post of yours hidden? Because this app will often put my comment in, like, it's not even a violation, it just hides it. It's like stuck in limbo, and then like an hour later it'll appear.
I didn't check my comments. I,
Oh,
I, I read some of them, but I didn't, because I was getting my hair cut and then I was
I
driving. I
I
think I liked
said
your comment.
I said that I don't know how, by the grace of whatever, but I timed my move in to my property and signing up with Duke Energy and having to put down a like a
Oh,
three
yeah,
hundred
yeah, yeah. I
dollar
see it right here.
deposit. Yeah, it timed it so that when all these energy spikes are just starting to hit, I'm actually getting a credit. So I got lucky on that.
Yeah, you did get lucky. You did get
Yeah,
lucky. Not
and
me.
then and there's the one time in my life Murphy's Law has ignored me. Good old Murph. And then later today, something will just like happen that has no possibility of happening. It'll be Murphy just tapping on my shoulder, saying, "Hey, I haven't forgotten about you, bud. I'm still here."
Yeah. Yep. The same thing will happen to me too. I mean, I didn't get by on this one, but I am fortunate enough where I should be fine, that I can afford the increase, even though I don't really need to have an increase. I have a lot of things that I have going on, but there are people who are not going to be able to afford it. And what do? There are only so many programs, and even those programs that were for energy assistance have been tapped out.
Yeah.
Like,
So
what do we do?
it's double edged, and going back to that paying people to go against their own people, it's going to be absolutely devastating and cause a choice between medication, feeding your family, paying mortgage, or even going homeless
Right.
for a lot of the downtrodden or the people that are surviving check to check. But also for the middle class, it's going to dramatically hurt them because there goes your savings.
Yep.
Like, you can afford to pay the increase, but now you're back in that lower bracket where you can't effectively save. You have to work double as much in order to get back to where you were before. I mean, it's all by design, and it just it fucking sucks.
And the other thing is too is people don't understand the lack of access to electricity can actually be deadly. Um,
Yep.
it's going to come to the point where people are going to go through that savings, like you said, and they're going to have to choose between paying a bill and eating. And extreme heat, like we have here in Florida and Texas and Arizona, places like that, is deadly. And then when it comes to the winter, how many people, when the Texas power grid went down, died because they froze to death in
Yeah.
their homes?
And Texas didn't, in the special session, didn't introduce
Didn't
one
it?
single
Nothing.
bill. Not it was Abbott
It was
said
just HB4.
he was calling a special session just to address, or not just to address, but specifically to address the Texas floods and emergency preparedness, and not one single bill was introduced for that, introduced
Correct.
or passed.
Correct. One of the representatives called them out, asked what the special session, what they would be addressing when they said they were locking the doors. This was the
Yep.
other day, yesterday, when they took the vote, and they said HB4, which was the redistricting of Texas. And they asked, so we're not going to be addressing, flood relief and things like that. They called it their point of parliamentary, and he said that that wasn't a point of parliamentary and wouldn't address it. But they didn't address anything to do with natural disaster relief, floods or
Right.
otherwise. And that's what you were correct. That is what the special session was supposed to be intended for,
Yeah.
but instead they redistrict.
And Dan Patrick has the gall to stand up and say, I'm absolutely appalled that no one will stand up for the prayer and the Pledge of Allegiance. But it's like, why? Why? Who the hell are you to be appalled by their behavior in calling out exactly what you guys are doing?
Right, right.
I can't stand Dan Patrick. Dan Patrick, I mean, Greg Abbott, of course. I can't stand Greg Abbott, but Dan Patrick is oh man.
I see you, Brian. Yeah, and the thing is like I don't want to be like, oh, it's party, it's Republicans, it's Democrats, it's this one, it's that one. Like my concern, my genuine concern is the general population, the general people.
Yeah.
Regardless of your party lines, there are people who are going to suffer, and that's not what I want to see. I don't want to see anyone suffer. I don't. Like, it's fun and it's all jokey joke, and it's like, haha, you voted for this, you're getting what you voted for. But these
You'll
people have
never ever see
children.
me. You'll
These
never
people have
see me say that.
children.
You'll never
There
ever
are
see me
people who
say
do
that.
that. There are people who do that.
No, I know. I know. And that kind of mentality helps further the divide. I understand people are angry. I understand people are upset, but you'll never see me wish ill on my fellow countrymen or countrywoman, regardless of how they voted in the past. And I stand firm in my stance that a large portion of MAGA today have just been influenced and manipulated by the lies that we're seeing proven true as lies every single day.
Every day.
Um,
Every
so
single day.
I'll never wish them ill. I'll take pity on them for being so easily influenced,
Right.
but I'll never say, oh, you deserve to be in the wake of that flood. That's a terrible mindset.
Right. No, and these people have children. These people have children who don't get a say, who don't get to use their voice, who are victims of circumstance. And I don't want to see that for anybody's children. I don't want to see anybody's school lunch taken away. I don't want to see anyone's access to education taken away. These are kids. These are kids.
Yep.
These kids should have homes. They should have electricity and heating and air conditioning, whatever their climate requires them to have to be comfortable. They should have access to food and water. And they should
And
have options when natural disasters happen, so that they have a home that they can come home to or rebuild.
what about the kids or the elderly that are literally dependent on electricity and consistency of electricity because they're at home,
They're
fully
disabled.
disabled and on life support systems? I mean,
Right. I mean, there are kids who are at home who are on ventilator type equipment, who have medication pumps, that they're being cared by their families, that they need this electricity.
yeah,
And
I
I
mean,
think it's
it's
just absolutely inhumane and disgusting that
having common decency should never be a political argument. It's
no,
not political.
no. And having access to resources should never be commoditized.
Exactly.
It shouldn't be. And the people in my YouTube comments are fucking crazy. I'm not virtue signaling, you guys, and I don't care if you follow me. I don't care if you watch my stream. This is genuinely how I feel. This is genuinely who I am as a person. My people here, we call them the Chaos Caucus or the fuckers. We always donate to charity once a month. We pick a charity that we donate to. We help one another when someone finds themselves on hard times. We do what we can to help each other, because that's what it's about. It's about community. It's about taking care of each other, because realistically, the government's not going to do it. The government's not going to do it, especially not with this type of administration. Regardless of who is in charge of the administration, whether it was Trump or whether it was fucking Joe Jackson, I don't know. If it's this type of mentality, this is what we're going to be up against, and we need to be a community. We need to band together and take care of one another. Because it doesn't matter who the face of the movement is. This type of movement is dehumanizing. It is demoralizing. Like it is just absolutely abhorrent behavior. And the only thing we have is each other. And that's something that they seem to forget.
And MAGA is a lie. I don't know if that was a typo in that person's comment, but MAGA was specifically created as a marketing ploy to divide the population. MAGA is a lie. There is nothing conservative about MAGA. There's nothing Christ-like or faith-based about MAGA. MAGA is an outright lie. There's nothing conservative in the ideology, as we've seen in the One Big Beautiful Bill. There's nothing decent or humane about the practices or constitution that are being currently carried out. So MAGA is a lie, and it is not moral. It is immoral. It is antithetical to Christ's teachings.
Correct. I agree with you on that. Anthony said trying to make Americans sound like they're suffering is fucking hilarious. Anthony, 1 in 5 children in this country, and that rate will rise in the next 9 months. 1 in 5 children in this country goes to bed without stable access to food every single night.
Right.
Every single night.
What's Christ like about that? And I'm not trying to push religion or anything, because I consider myself an actual Christian, and my Christian beliefs, I welcome all of faith and those without faith, all religions, as long as you just live by a simple concept that is found in all doctrines, of love thy neighbor. Right. So this co-opting of religion to attack your fellow human beings is not faith-based. It's you're not in line with Christ. You're more in line with the Romans persecuting Christ. All these attacks on the LGBTQIA, all these attacks on marginalized communities or different ethnicities. There is nothing Christ-like about any of this.
Nothing. Nothing. That is true. Anti-Terica. Just because someone is suffering more doesn't mean the other person isn't suffering. That is true.
Yeah.
Christina says that's not exactly true, though. What part of that isn't true, Christina? What he just said. I mean, they lay it out. Jesus' own words in the Bible. It's in Matthew 25. We've talked about this numerous times. But my concern is, what are we going to do? How do we combat this? What is the next stop? I mean, I know we can vote. I know we have midterms coming up. But what else can we do? You guys have to remember that every year is an election year, and it's not just about the federal government, because there are things that happen at the local level. The local level impacts your lives a lot. Every single day, every facet of your daily life, the local government impacts, and you have to get involved. You have to be vocal. You have to go to these meetings. I know it's time consuming, and I know it can be, it can lead to burnout and all those things, because shit, I'm burnt out. But we have to show up.
I think that absolutely, as I am, I think one thing we need to push on both, especially from the ground up, from the local level, state level, all the way up to the federal level, to weed out, to do a workaround to this obvious corruption from the ground up. We need to put bills in place from the local level, from your school board level to your state department level to your federal level. We need to put bills in place of budget accountability bills, so that any department within your local city or your state or the federal government that cannot pass an audit cannot be made or has to be first on the chopping block for any proposed so-called conservative cuts, like this One Big Beautiful Bill did. Because if you mandate that things that can't pass audits have to be first on the chopping block, you're not going to see cuts to programs that can pass audits, like Medicaid, like Medicare, and it's going to weed out a lot of the corruption, because then these people that supposedly call themselves conservatives, that just give more money to the rich, won't be so easy to do those things if they have to go after the programs that the rich are buying off these politicians to give cuts to, or to make tax cuts to, and to benefit. Like the Pentagon has never passed an audit. And the reason that wasn't on the chopping block for the One Big Beautiful Bill and Medicaid is because of all the private contractors and all those private contractors paying the politicians to not make any cuts to them.
Yeah.
So
I never thought I'd say this,
we
but
have to do workaround stuff.
I agree with Raiden, and I never thought I'd say this because Raiden and I never agree on anything. Raiden said the world is changing and it's never going back, and I agree with that. But the question is what kind of changes are we going to see, and what kind of changes are we going to fight for? That's the important part, because the world is changing and it's never going back, and I don't think it should go back. It shouldn't go back to the way that they're trying to set things up, where women can't vote, where you can't get divorced, where you don't have access to your own body, where children are starving, where it's the haves and the have-nots. We shouldn't go back to that, because that's where we're headed. Some of those things have already happened, and we shouldn't be the haves and the have-nots. It shouldn't be like it was during the Depression, and we're seeing steps that are leading us towards that. So what are we going to do? How are we going to fight? You got to get involved.
Yeah. Everyone has to participate. If you don't participate and then complain about the state of things, you shouldn't be afforded that right to complain about things if you don't participate in the system. I mean, you can't sit back and say, "Well, I'm not voting," and then bitch about everything.
Tanner, if you don't come up here, you don't get a voice here, and you know that. So I'm going to send you an invite one time, and then I'm going to mute you. Because you like to be in my chat and have shit to say, but you don't want to actually say it with your whole chest and have a conversation.
That sounds like throwing down the gauntlet, Tanner. Come on, bud.
Don't be a bitch.
Don't be a Trump.
Okay, I'm going to mute you. And you want to come up, you can come up and you can have a conversation. So if somebody sees Tanner in the request, you can let him up. Because I don't do that. I'm not going to argue with you in the comments. If you're somebody that I know that's just a pain in the ass, I'll let you stay in the comments, or I'll get tired of you and mute you, but I'm not going to invite you up. Tanner was here yesterday doing the same bullshit, and I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it today. If you want to sit there and pound on your chest in somebody else's live. But you're not going to do that.
Hey, thanks a lot, Stuke. Thanks for that comment. I would also like to see, especially looking at, because it feels like you were saying, going back to the Depression, it feels like these AI power plants are just sucking our country dry of energy. Mm-hmm. So I think there's consumption. Like, all of us now have to pay like a tier system, for peak operating hours and stuff. I want to see these AI mega consumption centers have like double or triple the rate of what a common household has to pay per kilowatt hour.
In addition to that, they should be required to do something towards water conservation.
Yeah, absolutely.
But this administration has gotten rid of so many environmental protections that we had in place, and they're going to continue to do that it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I mean, these AI servers, what is it? One AI inquiry, one chat GPT inquiry costs one bottle of water, one standard bottle of water. And it uses millions of gallons of water per year.
Well, meanwhile, you've got...
and they're contaminating water sources. Did you see that?
Yes, I know that. What's the biggest bottling water company, isn't it? Isn't it like a food company too? Nestle. That's what I was thinking of. Nestle exports more water abroad to other countries than they sell here. And they don't really have to pay for any of the water they're sucking out of the ground with the aquifers. They get subsidies to do that stuff. So they're literally sucking us dry and not even selling our own water back to us.
Right.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy. I think it's even crazy that we have to pay for water.
Yeah, no, water should be a human right. It should be free. I'm sorry. We're supposedly Trump says that we're the richest nation and we're the hottest nation on the planet. So why is everything cost 8 times everything? And why are things that should be free not free?
Right. Listen, I agree with paying for sewer. If you have sewer, if you're not on septic, I agree with paying for that, because there are things that have to happen in order for water, water treatment and all of that. But to be paying per gallon is kind of crazy. It should be a flat fee. Like, why can't everybody pay If you look at your bill, why can't you just pay that $25 a month? Why are you paying per gallon? Why are you not just paying those water purification or water processing fees or the sewer fee? It
We
should be
we
free.
don't want everything free, James. I mean, this notion that there's certain things in this life that should be free does not equate to everything is socialism and everything should be free. I mean, that's such a cop out to say you want everything free. No, I don't. None
I
of
don't want
us,
everything free either.
none of us believe in that. I mean, it's just that's such a broad blanketed statement, and it's obvious that you have typed out many times in your comments across other people's posts, well, you're a commie socialist.
They don't even
Without
know what it
understanding.
means.
I know. I mean, it's just they live and breathe for talking points to copy paste repeat stuff.
But
But
Bippity, even with that, it's
not
not
calling
free.
themselves free thinkers. At the same time, they say the exact same thing over and over again, and then they call themselves free thinkers.
Right.
You know?
Bippity said food, medical, housing, water, and education should be free. But even with that, I don't believe it's free. I think it's a collective. We should collectively be taking care of these things for one another. Because it can't just be given away for free. But if we have universal health care, we're all paying into it with our taxes. We're all paying into education with our taxes. We're all paying
Yeah.
into these things with our taxes so that people aren't paying an additional cost. People aren't having to fill out a FAFSA every fucking year for their kids and hoping that they get enough money for their kid to go to college. It's a
Hey, what's up,
collective.
Bill?
We collectively take care of these things for one another. And people are like, socialism is bad. Socialism is not bad. Socialism is not bad. Tell me an instance where socialism is bad.
Oh,
Come
well,
on up here and talk about
they
it.
keep on saying that the socialism model has never worked. It is working for a half a century, if not century now, in other modernized countries around the world where, I mean, our northern neighbor is largely socialist. We ourselves have largely socialist policies,
Yes,
funding our military, paving our streets, paying for police and fire departments. That's all
it's a
socialism.
collective.
So stop saying that the socialism model doesn't work when it has been working for over a century now.
Right, right.
Socialism doesn't mean everything is free.
It's a collective. And Bippity is right. Education was free, higher education was free until it wasn't. And why wasn't it?
Right.
Because we didn't want black people in this country to be educated. We wanted to give another barrier to their education. Racism is why. And if you argue with me on that, I'm not going to entertain you because you can go read for yourself. We
I
have.
really just hope that we survive long enough to see the current minority populations overtake the majority populations as far as population counts. And we're almost there. We are almost there, which is why people like Trump are pushing so hard to round up all the black and brown people to maintain that status quo of power. But we are nearly there where black and Latin people outnumber the total amount of white people. It's neck and neck. So I say another 5-10 years, and the white people in this country will be the official minority population, especially when you count interracial, marriages and offspring and things of that nature. I mean, it's so archaic and so antiquated to think, that white people are the master race and stuff like that. I'm a white person. I know that's not true. I mean, there is no such thing as that superiority complex. It is so unevolved.
It's harmful, it's hurtful, and why do I hate white? I'm white. I'm Latina. I'm white. I don't hate white people. I just understand history. I understand marginalization. I understand what people have done to other groups simply based on how they look. And it's not right. I have a functioning fucking brain.
Yeah. I made a post the other day where I said, a few weeks ago, where I said, because I was being accused of, oh, you've got white guilt. I said, no, I don't. I don't have white guilt. I have white shame, a very specific white shame with how too many white people in our country behave. They're not Christ-like. They're not decent. They're not evolved. They're not intelligent. They have this insecurity complex that is dominating their entire lives, where they're constantly demeaning other people to try to lift themselves up higher. I have specific white shame because of those people in this country.
Yeah. Yeah. It just. And the crazy fucking part is, though, is like all of these things that they advocate for eventually is cut off your nose to spite your face, especially when it's women.
Yep.
Especially when it's women. You are literally cutting off your nose to spite your own face, because these things will impact you. You may not be the first group to be impacted, but you will be impacted. It's so fucking, it's wild to me. It's wild to me that people don't want kids to eat, that they don't want people to have access to their medications. It's wild to me.
Especially considering that a lot of the people that benefit from those programs are the people that are clapping, and white people that are clapping and cheering from their own benefits being taken away by this administration.
They think it's not going to impact them. They think it's not going to come to their poor town in Alabama. They think it's not going to come to their Appalachian town in West Virginia. They think it's not going to happen to them. And it is going to happen to them. If it hasn't already, it will. And we're trying to protect one another. And you guys are sitting here thinking about, well, I voted for Trump. MAGA, screaming MAGA in the chat all the time. Just it's not helping you. You're harming yourself.
Claiming taking the big W all the way to the grave. And that's what's happening. Like literally a foot in the casket and saying, we won. It's like, dude, don't you want to live a long and happy life and be prosperous? Because this ain't it.
Right. I mean, that's it. And how often do we get those comments, Dave? Your team lost. Bro, it's not football.
Yeah, I know. Every single day. And you know, people like James here in the chat are just, they are such in the copy and paste repetitive mindset where they just don't care that what is happening today. You know, hey James, I got a question for you in the chat. 1 month, 2 month, 3 month into Trump's presidency, okay, end of January, February, March, Trump was saying that everything that was bad was Biden's fault. And then 3 months later, 6 months, everything is miraculously fantastic. We're the hottest nation in the world. Everything is perfect now. The prices are down. There's no more inflation. Jobs are up. All of those things I just stated are a lie, by the way. Inflation is up. Jobs are down. Prices are still up. Gas is not a buck 99.
Produce went up, what, 30%?
Yeah. So hey, James, do you believe what Trump says, that everything is perfect today? I bet you do. And how do you feel about ATF roaming the streets, James? Are you a 2A American? I am. I am.
Where's James? Yeah, utilities are up too. That's how this conversation started. We were talking about how my electric bill went up by 23%.
Well, James keeps on arguing in the chat that that he doesn't have more rights or liberties than I believe a black man in the chat. I'm not sure, but and the person was commenting back to James saying, "Hey, James, do you feel safe when passing a cop on the streets? I bet you do. I don't."
Well, James,
which is a fact. Yeah, come on up here, James. Let's have a conversation, bud.
He denied it. I'm going to send you one more and then you're muted. I can see when you decline it, and I can see when it times out.
Hey, James.
That's typical to meet somebody. That's a liberal move right there, right?
I'm not.
Somebody disagrees with you.
I'm not. A
yeah,
I'm not.
You're bleeding.
I'm a leftist.
No, I'm not. I'm not liberal. I'm not. I'm not even a leftist. I'm an independent. I'm more. I support progressive values because progressive values are fiscally conservative.
Well, you know, here.
You have a lot of background noise, James. I would love to hear what you have to say. I think you have like a TV or something and it's really loud.
I'm in a restaurant.
So are prices down, James? Is gas down?
I paid $2.40 a gallon earlier today.
Well,
That's
well,
pretty
Donald
cheap.
Trump said it was $1.99, James.
Well, everybody's not perfect.
All right, we're gonna add to this conversation, I suppose. Here, someone's calling in. Hello, caller. You called from unknown, so just tell me your name real quick so we know what to call you when we address you.
It's Tony. So,
Tony.
what do you think all the corruption stems from? Is it voting the wrong people each time, or what?
I think it's greed.
So do we like keep voting for the wrong people, or like just like fucking kill some shit? I don't know.
Yeah, I can't let you stay on the line when you say stuff like that, friend. That's gonna get the FBI at my house. You can't do that.
I mean, why do y'all want America to lose so bad? That's what it sounds like.
We
You want America to
don't.
lose.
That's the opposite, James. We want America to win. We want America to be prosperous. We don't want children starving. We don't want people to not be able to afford to live. We want the exact opposite of that.
Hey, James, where did you come up with this concept that anyone that doesn't support Trump hates you?
It's just obvious. I mean, I don't hate anybody who they voted for, but if you go into one of these lives, one of these liberal lives, you say you voted for Trump, it's automatically attack, 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 attack.
I
Well,
no, I
Trump's
don't do
not a
that.
good person. I won't attack you, but I'll attack Trump. He's an immoral person.
Name a politician that isn't.
So two wrongs make a right, James?
Something to do, I guess. I don't know.
No, man. No, that's a failed mindset. How do we have a better life in our country when we make excuses for immoral behavior?
James, I'd like to know why did you vote for Trump?
Honestly, I didn't like Harris. It wasn't because she's a woman. It wasn't because she's black. I thought she was a smug liberal. That's why I didn't vote for her.
So what about policy that she was proposing made you not like her?
She had no policy. She sat right there on TV and said she had nothing new to offer.
Ay, Dios mío. She did. She did have policies. And if you spent any time in these liberal lives, like you said, you would have heard them.
What you don't remember her on national TV? They asked her what you do different if hiding. She said nothing. She had no plan.
Why should you do something different? We had the fastest economic recovery after COVID in the world.
I don't know. I don't know about that.
No, I mean, it's true. It's factual. You can look.
She had no plan.
Okay, so what about Trump that did you like?
Honestly, not a lot. You know, I'm gonna be honest with you. Ain't no politician up in Washington or anywhere else cares about me. I can guarantee you that. I'm middle class. I work. None of them care about me. Democrat or now you sit here and you can defend Democrats, but they're just as bad. They don't care about the working class people. All of them care about votes and lobbyists.
What state are you in, James?
They care about getting votes, staying in office for 50 years, and pleasing their lobbyists. That's both sides.
But why would you?
Hey, James, what state are you in?
What's that?
What state are you in?
Arkansas.
So you
see, look.
So you know that your state is going to be affected dramatically, much worse by the passing of the One Big Beautiful Bill, right?
We'll just have to see. I guess. Wait and see. I guess.
I mean, it's already happening. Your energy company bill is going to go up. The cost of goods are going up, especially because of Trump's tariffs. The cost of goods are going way up. It's going to affect your day-to-day life. It's more, and this is why I think Amanda kind of was taken aback by your dislike of Harris for not for necessarily policies, which she did outline clearly on her platform and spoke about many, many times, more so than just one soundbite talking about Biden. But it really affects policy and how it's going to affect you directly. And everything that Trump is doing right now is going to negatively affect you, especially in Arkansas. Because Arkansas can't pay its own way. Arkansas is upside down on its budget. And you're losing all your federal resources now.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, somebody down there said that you don't agree that both sides have problems. Both political parties have problems. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
I do. Yes.
Somebody in the comments said that they did. That's a bunch of crap. But they do. Both sides have problems. Both sides are run by lobbyists, I think.
Sure.
I agree.
Sure. I don't disagree with that either. But my question to you was, so you said you didn't vote for Harris because you were unsure of her policies. Why did Trump earn your vote versus either you not voting at all or voting third party?
I guess he just had a little bit better. I don't know. Better message. I guess. I don't know. I really don't know why I voted for him. I know I didn't like her, and I really didn't like him. Ted Cruz was the guy I voted for at 16. He would have been my choice over Trump.
Well, what did you like about Ted Cruz?
Oh, Ted Cruz is cool. I like Ted Cruz.
Why?
He stands up for himself.
How did he stand up for himself when Donald Trump called his wife ugly?
He did come out and say, "Don't attack my wife." You know.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He didn't say anything. He just tucked his tail, and he ran away from his state when his people were in crisis and went on vacation. Not once, but twice.
Maybe I should just host. Can I ask you a question?
Sure, absolutely.
My governor's going to run for president in the next election. Are you going to vote for her? Or if you don't, do you hate women because you won't vote for her?
No, I actually believe in protect the kids, and your governor wants to legalize labor. He's already passed bills in Arkansas to take away any kind of child protections on labor laws.
Yeah,
So it has
I
absolutely
would vote for
nothing to do with her being a woman. I actually believe in protect the kids, and anyone that actually goes after kids for their own profit and greed because of their donors are paying them to do so, just like the lobbyists on both sides of the aisle, Dems and Republicans that you just named, which is why Sarah Huckabee Sanders is doing that, is because her corporate donors are paying her to take away child labor laws. So no, I absolutely will never support Sarah Huckabee Sanders.
But doesn't that make you against women, though, if you don't vote for her?
No, that's simply based purely on policy. I am against child labor. We had that happen here in the state of Florida where they changed child labor laws and kids who were protected from being able to work in certain industries are no longer protected from that. They're also not even protected by minimum wage. They don't even have minimum wage protections because they can pay them like $4 an hour during a quote unquote training period, but there's no definition as to when that training period must end. So they can continue to pay children $4 an hour. They used to have protections for what hours they could work so that children would be able to remain in school. Those are no longer there. Like, I would never vote for someone that. She also refused, Sarah Huckabee Sanders also refused to let the state vote on reproductive rights. The people should have their voices heard. I would never vote for someone, man, woman, or non-binary person who would not want their constituents to have their voices heard.
Yeah, can I let you in on a little piece of my ideology, James? My personal ideology.
Okay.
This world has men, has women, has however anyone identifies, and all are completely capable of being assholes. Doesn't matter if it's a man or woman. If you're doing policies that are hurting the general public and endangering children, you do not get my support. And that's what Sarah Huckabee Sanders is doing. Has absolutely nothing to do with the fact that she is a woman. Do you want to see Arkansas turned into a sweatshop like over in China, James? Because that's what That's what Sarah Huckabee Sanders is working to do right now.
Well, actually, you'd be surprised. I didn't vote for her for governor. You'd be surprised.
Would you vote for her for president?
I would not vote for her for president.
Why?
Well, why would you even ask, man?
Well, because I want to see it. Because if I go into one of these other liberal chat rooms and I say I voted for Trump, it's automatic. Well, you hate women. That's why you didn't vote for Harris.
I mean, you're not producing a strong argument as to why you didn't vote for her, or why you even voted for Trump. So that does leave people to wonder what it is that led you to vote the way you did, because you're not articulating any policies that you supported of Trump, or policies that you disagreed with Harris, and so people are left to wonder: did you vote based on misogyny and/or racism?
I'll tell you what Harris wouldn't have done, regardless if she was a man or a woman. She wouldn't have had our own service members get on their hands and knees and roll out the red carpet for Vladimir Putin. That's what Harris wouldn't have done, and that's what Trump did do.
How do you feel about that?
I don't agree with that. And like I said, I don't say Trump's not perfect. I don't agree with everything he does. I mean, I'm not some
you agree
brainwashed.
with? That's what we're trying to get to. That's the meat and potatoes
think,
we're trying to get to.
I think that border down there needs attention. It's been a problem for years. You know, maybe he can fix. I mean, I don't wish that he lose. I don't wish that he fails, because you know what? If he fails, then we all fail.
Do you know what the Northern Triangle is?
Yeah, but y'all seem to act like you want him to fail. If he fails, America fails. So you must want America to fail as well.
No, actually the opposite. I want him to succeed, but everything he is doing is making us fail. And then he's outright lying about it and saying everything is great and perfect when we see with our own eyes it isn't.
He also is firing people who are, articulating to the American public through statistics what our job numbers are and other different aspects of our government that wouldn't be our typical measures of success. He's firing people when they make him look bad because the numbers are bad.
And now he's threatening other states, like he's trying to threaten Colorado to release Tina Peters, who literally tampered with election machines and was found guilty on state crimes. So now the federal government, whatever happened, James, are you one of those Republicans that has always been lifelong against big government? Big government with big overreach and reaching into state issues and things of this nature? Because Donald Trump is the epitome of big government right now, trying a federal takeover across the entire United States.
All I'm saying is this: if he fails, we all fail. I have a clip of Ronald Reagan. He said that if Democrats think the only shot at winning is if Americans fail, then they're in their own country. So,
Joe wanted to add something to the conversation. Joe, how are you today?
I'm all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. What would you like to add, my friend?
I love you, Joe.
Love you, bud. It's wild to me. I've been listening to James talk, and you're saying like, oh, you want Trump to fail, so you want America to fail. Man, I just want to point out that when somebody is failing, pointing out that they are failing is not hoping that they fail. You know what I mean? Like if you had somebody working for you doing a job and they did not do the job, not only did they not do the job, but they showed up and like took a shit on your desk every day, are you going to keep them fucking working for you?
but that's an
Whatever
opinion.
happened to the buck stops at the
Hold on,
top?
Dave, let him answer.
That comes down to opinion. I didn't think Biden did a good job. I didn't get on the internet and bash him every day. So.
Well, what about Joe Biden did you think that he didn't do a good job with?
I don't think he was even running the country. I think that by his second year, he didn't even know where he was at. I don't think, and it was kept hid from the American people.
All right. So can I point something out real quick, if you don't mind? I don't mean to interrupt anybody if you wanted to talk. I'm not a fan of Joe Biden, like in the slightest, really. But that being said, he did some pretty amazing shit in the 4 years that he was president, and you guys don't ever seem to like to acknowledge that, right? You were talking earlier about the working class. The shit that he did and pushed and passed that benefited the working class was immense. Look at the Chips and Science Act. There's one right there. Put fucking hundreds of thousands of blue collar workers to work, slammed with work.
And the infrastructure bill that also increased workforce.
Yeah, the infrastructure, fucking rebuilding things all over the United States. I say this as an electrician who was slammed with work. I'm a union electrician, right? My local IBW number 48. The year before last year, we had nobody. It was a walkthrough. There was so much fucking work. It was a straight walk. People were coming from other places and going what you call book two, and just boom, straight to work with you. Right now, there's over 1,000 people who are unemployed, and that's happened since January 20th.
Yep.
I just have to say,
projects
thank you.
are being shut down due to Trump's implementation of policies and tariffs.
Oh, did you guys? Oh, hold on. Real quick, I have to say thank you to Terry. Terry, thank you so much for sending me money for my birthday so I can enjoy a drink. I appreciate you. I need one. I need one. So thank you so much, Terry. My birthday isn't until September 3rd, but I appreciate it. That is very, very sweet of you. So big W, Terry, in the chat. And talking about people losing work, did you guys hear about John Deere recently?
Oh, yeah.
John Deere has laid off hundreds of people at multiple sites because of the cost of steel and aluminum because of the tariffs. So we're losing more jobs. And John Deere was one of the ones who was like, yeah, we're going to take our shit elsewhere. And they were like, oh, no, it's going to be okay. Don't go, don't go. And now they're laying people off.
Yep. Watch how fast John Deere moves its facilities down to Mexico for cheaper steel.
They're going to have to. They don't have a choice.
Yep.
They're going to have to continue to move their operations off of U.S. soil for cheaper labor and cheaper materials costs. And then we're still going to pay the tariffs.
Is happening, Donald Trump simultaneously will still be saying, oh, we just brought in $500 trillion economy. Is a lie that can be easily searched on Google and debunked.
But that's the thing, right? So, like, even if you can debunk it and you can go search it up on Google, Dave, like, it doesn't matter. Straight up, I was arguing with a local guy here where I live at in fucking February. I have pictures on my fucking phone because I knew it was going to happen. I took a picture on January 17th of the price of gas in this town that I live. Mm-hmm. By February, it was 68 cents a gallon higher.
Yep.
And this dude's arguing with me straight up locally that no, it's cheaper than it was. It was fucking $4. Like, that's funny because I have a picture on my phone from January 17th that shows that it was $2.86 a gallon.
So I just want to go back real quick to John Deere and just read to you guys exactly what it was because Nikki sent it to me and I saw it before. John Deere announces mass layoffs due to Trump's tariffs with over 200 workers losing their jobs at three Midwestern plants. The company released a statement estimating that tariffs have already cost the company $300 million this year, and they forecast a full-year tariff impact of nearly $600 million. The primary drivers for the change are increased tariff rates on steel and aluminum, and that's directly from John Deere.
Yep. See, James, the thing is, we don't want the country to fail. We love our country, and that's something that Trump has convinced so many people that that isn't true, that we don't love our country, that we want things to fail just so we can get a win the next election. And I'm not Dem, independent, but the reality is things that Donald Trump and this administration are doing are her direct while simultaneously saying it's
point out too, a lot bigger than that, and what they're doing, right? Intel is involved in a bunch of defense contracting and technology. Mm-hmm. Like I said, they employ hundreds of thousands of trade workers, the regular, right? We had fucking work stack electricians, and then there's ironers and carpenters and joiners, all sorts of shit. But just Intel employees, not to mention all the trades they've already fucking taken out. Just Intel employees, they're cutting 25,000 by the end of 2025.
Yeah, the live is.
Yeah, it's only going to get worse and worse with tariffs. It's only going to get worse and worse with the tariffs that Trump is not stopping on. And the one big beautiful bill, like what we're already starting to see, the negative impacts of it, is nothing compared to what we're going to see in 2026. it's going to be 26, the amount of Americans that are hurt. But I have to go. Amanda, love you. Joe,
Love you too.
Big Joe Berserk, I love you, man.
Love you. It's been a while.
It has been a while. If I can plug something real quick, I'm going to be on the Michael Fanone show today at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I think live on YouTube. And on Thursday, Amanda, third, I've got an event, so I'll give a happy birthday shout out. I can't remember what that event is, but I'll do it whatever I can scheduled for. Clayton, the number 4 ND.com. I am running for the United States House of Representatives, challenging 81-year-old Virginia Fox, who voted to block the release of the files to protect the POTUS. So if you're old enough to collect Social Security, you shouldn't be allowed to vote to take it away from those that do. And I hope to fight for all Americans. And that's it. That's my pitch. I love you all.
Love your content, David, by the way.
Love you.
Oh, thank you, Bippity.
I'm going to drop you for the algo. Bye.
Later, bro. I gotta hop off too, Amanda. I appreciate you giving me a little minute to talk there, but I just
No worries.
I'm stuff.
Okay. All right. I'll see you later, Joe. Thanks for coming up.
Yep, later.
Bip, I'm so sorry, my love. I didn't see you in the request because I don't have it open. I only saw Joe because he said, "Can you let me up in the chat?" So I let him
I
up.
tried, but I didn't want to blow up your chat either because I was like, yo, I got a question for James because there's, and it's not an attack on you, even though he was, arguing in the comments about, what rights you have versus, those of us in the BIPOC community that we don't have. But you had said that you didn't think that Joe Biden was running the United States, that he wasn't aware, that he didn't know what he was doing, which in turn would mean that Kamala Harris, if not Joe Biden, Kamala Harris would be running the United States, in which we had a significant growth in jobs. Inflation was, starting to decrease. Things were more affordable. We had the quickest fucking turnaround when it came to C-19. So that begs the question, if it was Kamala that was running the United States and not Joe Biden, then why would you not vote for her?
Good morning, everybody. 41 years old, New York City.
Hold on,
I'm
sir.
a Christian.
She's talking to James.
Jesus
Just
Christ
a second,
loves you
please.
all.
Just a second, please. James, did you hear what she asked you?
I did. And I'm telling you, I know what you're trying to get to. You're trying to call me racist, and I'm not. It wasn't because she's black or a woman. I just did not like her. I didn't like her.
But if she's qualified and she's doing a good job, and Joe Biden wasn't the one in charge, according to you, why would you not want that good to continue unless it is you yourself that wants America to lose?
I don't want America to lose, ma'am.
Neither do I, beloved. But your logic is flawed, and that's what I'm trying to point out. You have to think critically. And MAGA as a whole is not doing that, my love.
Can I respond?
Just a minute, the one. I'm having a conversation with James.
I just didn't like her.
Okay, but you're not answering the question, beloved. If she was doing a good job, regardless of whether you liked her or not, that shouldn't have mattered. You voted for a P3DO who was held liable for the essay of a woman over a highly qualified black woman who, within your logic, if Biden wasn't running the United States, she in fact was. So to just not like her, that's not a good enough answer. Not with how things currently are, and it's only going to get worse. Things are only getting worse. I'm a disabled veteran. I could barely afford to eat as it was. Now it's even worse. People are struggling. And it's because of him. It's because of Trump. And he's lying to y'all. And y'all are eating it up, even if you don't like him or disagree with him, just so that you can, quote unquote, own the libs. But most of us aren't libs. And believe it or not, we want y'all to be okay too. We want y'all to eat too.
Yeah. Well, let's hear from our other friend real quick. I can't see any of the guest boxes, so I don't know your name. I think it's the one. What would you like to add to the conversation?
First to Bibbidi, I would like to say thank you for your service. I'm 23 years in the Navy as an E8 senior chief.
Thank you. Thank you for your current service.
Thank you for your service.
So my critical thinking as a MAGA supporter would be that if you are a veteran and you claim to be, so I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, that you would understand how rank works. And you would understand that if the president of the United States, Joe Biden, is the president, well, whether Kamala is qualified or not, the fact that she would be doing the president's job behind the president's back and then lying to the public about it, that the president's really doing it, that seems very unbecoming. So my question to you would then be, critically thinking, why would I ever, in what would be like a tin pot type of democracy around the world, like it's fake, where you put somebody up on a pedestal, but it's really somebody else running the scene behind the scenes? You're basically advocating for Kamala running around behind the scenes while Joe Biden is so mentally incapacitated that he deserves the right to be president. So critically thinking, I'm going to support Donald Trump, and Jesus Christ is how I feel about it.
You're not supporting Jesus Christ.
You're not supporting Jesus.
Yikes. And I want to say something as somebody who's also a veteran. Don't do that. Don't do that to somebody else's service.
Why not?
Because that's fucking gross, guy. That's fucking
First Amendment right.
How do I know? No, that's not what the First Amendment is. The First Amendment is the right to redress grievances with the government. Okay, well, I'm going to disconnect you then, and you can suck my dick if that's how you're going to behave.
Hail Satan.
You have a dick?
I do. It's big, it's blue, and I love it.
It's
really?
So pretty.
Tell me more about what you got. So what are your...
You are not going to degrade someone else's service. How the fuck do I know that you're an E8? How the fuck do I know?
Right.
I don't know that. You could be fucking stolen valor. Don't do that. Bibbidi is, in fact, a disabled veteran. I, in fact, am a veteran. I served in the United States Army. I was a 68 Papa. Fort Sill, Oklahoma, Reynolds Army Community Hospital. Do not do that. That's fucking disgusting. And I stayed quiet to let you run your mouth and say what you wanted to say, but you are not living a Christ-like life, saying the shit that you just said and voting the way that you just said that you voted. Mm-hmm. Like, fuck all the way off with that. We have had a nice conversation with James trying to understand his mentality and why he voted, and you came up here throwing your fucking weight around like you thought it meant something here. It doesn't fucking mean something here. Fuck you.
I wonder how he feels about soldiers having to basically get on their hands and knees to roll out the red carpet for a war criminal that has a international warrant out for his arrest that Trump did not honor.
He probably loved it. His daddy told him to.
I just want to know how it tastes. How does it taste? How does his leather shoes taste when you're licking them? That's what I want to know.
Right. He had the nerve to question your service but voted for a draft dodger. That is fucking wild.
That's wild. That's crazy. And to answer his question, right?
Hi, Beans.
I'm not saying, hi, Beans. I'm not saying that I would advocate for that. I was simply looking at the logic of what James had to say. That if Joe Biden was not running the presidency, that means that Kamala Harris would be, and things were a lot better, and a lot of good a lot of good policies, not executive orders, but actual policies were passed, and things were doing a lot better. So by your logic, why would you not vote for the person that would potentially be running the United States if Joe Biden was, quote unquote, so incapacitated?
Well, here's my deal. Can I speak?
Absolutely.
I'm not here to be attacked. I'm just here to. Here's my point of view on Kamala Harris. I think they knew Joe Biden couldn't couldn't win. I think they knew he was incapacitated. I think they put him out there to get the nomination or get close to it, and then they handed it over to Harris because there was other Democrats that might have could have ran in the primary that didn't because the sitting president was there.
I don't think they would have primaried Kamala Harris, even if he said in the beginning that he wasn't. If he wasn't going to run, if she said that she was seeking the nomination, I don't think they would have primaried her. And if they did, she would have won.
He even said that he was only going to be a one-term president. So had he backed down sooner, things might have gone a little bit differently. But when it came to like polling, which isn't always completely accurate, if you look at the numbers, she had the best chance of winning. And there was no one else that was nearly as qualified as Kamala was.
I mean, it's just my opinion.
And you're entitled to your opinion. I don't agree with it. I just want you to understand that a lot of people are struggling and hurting and suffering because of how MAGA voted. And you yourself have said that you don't even really like the dude and that you don't even agree with everything that he's done. So that once again begs the question, if you don't like him and you don't agree with him and all of this, then why are you writing so hard for him? And is it just to own the libs? Like, is it just to own the quote unquote libs? Like, super hard. Like, baby, you was riding for him.
Well, here's the deal. I think you should respect the president no matter who it is.
I disagree.
I can't respect someone who doesn't respect me. I can't.
And if you see my voting record through the years, you'd be surprised. It's like an alphabet soup. I voted for Democrats for president. I voted for Republicans for president. I voted for independent ones for president. So.
Well, I think that we should vote for the best person for the job. Absolutely. And that's what I was trying to get to with you, is find out why you thought he was the best person for the job. Because the only thing that I've heard out of you was that Kamala didn't have policies, which we know is not true. And that also that you didn't think she was qualified. But, I mean, the woman has served in so many different facets of our government and was successful and elected and reelected. She did a fantastic job as vice president with the things that she was tasked to do. And I just don't understand why you wouldn't vote for her and why you chose to vote for Trump versus abstaining or voting third party.
Here's something else I didn't like about her. She kept on saying that she come from a poor. No, I come from a poor family, but I would never advertise that. Most people that come from poor families would not advertise that.
I thought she said that she came from a middle class family.
She kept saying a single mom family, and she's over.
Single mom doesn't mean poor, beloved.
Well, I'm just saying. She just kept on that, like you know. At least Trump was saying he's rich, you know.
But what does that make you? How does that make you relate to him? He can't possibly understand where you're coming from. Somebody who is middle class or poor would more understand the struggles that you face on a daily basis than somebody who is rich, who is a nepo baby, right?
He can't relate to me. She can't relate to me either.
Why can't she relate to you if she came from a middle class working family?
Because she's already. I mean, she's been in the Senate. She's been in politics most of her life. She's probably a millionaire herself. So, but they all.
Donald Trump was a former president. Like, he's been in politics. And even though he wasn't in political office, Donald Trump is very, very much involved in politics. When he lived in the state of New York and ran his businesses out of New York. All right, we're going to answer this call. I'm not going to my meeting. No, I have a meeting at noon. I'm not going. Hey, caller, how are you? Caller.
Hi, sweetie. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. What's your name?
Tim.
Tim? Okay, what's up? What would you like to add to the conversation, Tim?
Just calling about Trump.
Okay, sure. Did you vote for Donald Trump?
I did.
Okay, so maybe you can articulate what was it about Donald Trump's platform that earned your vote?
Kind of just an overall change in the way people are able to speak.
Be more racist? Like what does that mean?
No, whoa. Not
Because he has
racist.
emboldened white Christian nationalist groups with their rhetoric.
I'm dating a black girl, so
Amanda,
I'm
we
not
can't
Oh,
racist.
hear
don't
him.
tokenize your girlfriend.
Oh,
Don't do
Lord.
that.
What?
Don't
We can
tokenize your
barely hear
girlfriend.
him.
Yeah, he's very low. There's not. I can try and make it louder.
I'm going to drop
You
for
might
now. I
not
just wanted to
agree
come
with
up
him,
and
but I
ask
do.
James that question.
So
Okay, bye,
let's
Bip.
be respectful to
Bye.
each other.
I'm sorry I couldn't answer it for you, man, I guess.
Seriously?
We're having a hard time hearing you, Tim. You're really low. If you're on Bluetooth, that might be why.
You're not having the trouble hearing me.
You're very low.
I don't know what that means.
Your volume is very low. Like if you're on Bluetooth,
Yeah,
you
all right.
sound
Can
far
you
away.
I'm not a racist. I'm just trying to have a productive conversation. It's a brand new phone, 3 days old. It's fine.
Okay. So you voted for Donald Trump. You said you voted for him, and you're not racist because your girlfriend's black. But we don't. It's not good to token.
That's not what makes me not racist. But
Well, okay. So what
the reason
exactly
I'm not
did you
racist
vote
is
for?
because I don't care about that stuff. I don't care about the color. I don't care about that stuff.
Okay. So what exactly did you vote for?
You know, just like
Was there like a specific policy where you were like, yeah, I like that. I want that to happen in the United States.
Well, I'll tell you this. I'm really mad at him for not with the Epstein stuff.
Sure.
You know, you can't get everything you want, but I think overall he supports more things that I agree with. Second Amendment, freedom of speech, you know.
But freedom of speech, the White House accounts, hold on. The White House accounts on both Instagram and TikTok are deleting comments. So they're not supporting freedom of speech. And
I've actually in the last couple of years, I've never seen the amount, like a lot of stuff used to get removed. YouTube and Twitter or X, whatever, has been the most free I've ever seen it. I see people get away with crazy racist stuff, which I don't agree with, but I'm glad that it's allowed.
Why are you glad that it's allowed? Why are you glad that hate is allowed to have a platform? But that's not what the First Amendment is. So the First Amendment specifically is your right to redress grievances with the government, that the government should not be able to take action against you if you are addressing your grievances with the government. It doesn't mean that you can say whatever you want. Like if
I'm in constitutional law, and that is not what it means.
It is. Because if you were to punch somebody in the face, right, that's battery, yeah? But if you were to punch somebody in the face and call them a slur, now it's a hate crime, correct?
I don't agree with that either.
Well, that's why you don't have the right to say whatever you want. You can't go into a crowded theater and yell fire.
Well, that's different.
How is that different?
I mean, that's like the same as threatening someone's life. That's illegal.
Right, so you cannot just say whatever you want.
Well, you can.
You can't, but not without consequence.
Exactly.
So that's not freedom of speech. You can't just say whatever you want.
It is freedom of speech.
No,
it is.
just like if you say something that goes against a platform's terms of service, they can remove your account. You don't have freedom.
Yeah, they can do that. It's
They're
a private
allowing
company.
Hate speech.
So.
They're allowing hate speech, but that does not mean that it is productive. Why would we give hate a platform?
Because we should know the hateful people. We should know who they are. What's wrong with that? No one.
We already know who they are. Why should they be allowed to have a platform?
Because it's America. It's freedom.
How many amendments are there in the Constitution?
I want to say like 50. I only know the Bill of Rights.
Bro, then you are not in constitutional law. How the fuck are you studying constitutional law
well,
and you don't know how many amendments there are?
And I know that the first one is freedom speech, freedom of religion.
What's the Fifth Amendment?
Freedom of speech.
The Fifth.
Freedom of speech. Sorry. The right to not incriminate yourself.
I can't believe that you're in constitutional law and you don't know how many amendments there are. How long have you been studying constitutional law?
I'm not a lawyer. I took it because I found it interesting. It just helps with. I just need credits, but I know the Fifth Amendment, not to incriminate yourself. Fourth, right again, and the first, and the second. The most important one.
So you initially, this is your first semester and you just started this class.
No, I just got my degree. I just took it for credits.
Okay, so don't tell people you're studying constitutional law because it makes you look like an asshole.
Oh.
Like, I'm just being honest. Like, I'm not calling you names. I'm telling you, it makes you look like an asshole if you're saying that you're studying constitutional law and you don't know how many amendments.
You know, I gotta say, you come off a little aggressive.
Yes, I am
not like
aggressive.
You want to have
Thank
like
you.
Productive conversation.
Well,
like,
no, because what
you
you
know.
were trying to do is you were trying to be an elitist. You were trying to insert some type of superiority over a subject, and you don't even know how many amendments there are in the Constitution. So it makes you look like an asshole. You can say that you took a constitutional law class, and that's not what you learned in that class. But right now, you're just making yourself look stupid.
I think the most important thing is for people to have a productive conversation, and I don't think the aggression is necessary.
Okay, I need you to listen to the words that I'm saying. You said that you were studying constitutional law. You were trying to be elitist and assert yourself as somebody who has knowledge on a subject that I may not have. And you don't know how many amendments there are. Can I ask
you something? What is the elitist?
Because you're saying that you are superior in a subject, that you have more knowledge, that you have...
I'm not.
Yes. Okay. Anyway, so what did you vote for? You said you're not racist. What policy is it that you voted for?
Mostly tax reasons.
So you find yourself in a higher tax bracket, and so you wanted tax breaks?
No, I'm not. No, not
what tax bracket are you in?
That's really personal.
Why is it personal? I make over $100,000 a year.
Okay, yeah, there.
So I still pay more taxes than people who make $500,000 a year.
Jeez, you are sassy. Can I ask you something?
Sure.
You happen, and please don't take any offense.
Okay.
You happen to be like a lesbian or bisexual or something?
What does that have to do with anything?
Oh, it just kind of sounds like you haven't been fucked correctly in a while.
If I would...
I'm being honest. I'm just being honest.
I'm married. I'm married to a man.
But he's not getting it done right or something.
That has nothing to do with anything. It has nothing to do with anything. I can assure you that. So now you've said nothing about policy. You don't know how many amendments there are in the Constitution, and now you're being a misogynist.
A misogynist?
Yeah.
You guys are funny.
Because you're calling me aggressive and saying that I haven't been fucked correctly. It's misogynistic
well,
as hell. Like you haven't had a cogent point yet, my friend.
The latter might be true, but I'm not a misogynist, and I'm certainly not a fucking racist. And you called me an asshole, so I'm upset.
I said you were acting like an asshole.
I love all people.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do. Don't tell me what I do and don't.
Your behavior is displaying otherwise.
God, you're sassy.
I mean, you don't have to call me sassy. I'm sticking up for myself.
You've been aggressive.
Why am I aggressive?
You tell me. I think I know why.
You're the one who called me aggressive. I explained to you why I said you were an asshole. So why am I aggressive?
Just put me through.
Put you through to what?
Wait, is this not... Oh, shit, wait, is this on the YouTube?
Yeah, you're on YouTube right now. Everybody can hear you. Everybody on TikTok, YouTube, and Twitch can hear everything that you're saying.
Oh, sweet. All right, cool. All right. In the comments, what do you guys support? I didn't realize I was on.
Yeah, you've been talking to me the whole time.
I thought you were like
Nope. Nope. So again, what policy of Donald Trump's do you support? Ah, you are a simple-minded dumb fuck. I can't. I can't. Like, bro just wanted the attention. My live got throttled, saying that I was directing people off the platform. So if y'all could tap the screen, share the live. We got 3 out of those 10 popcorns. If y'all could hit those up to push this live back out. I missed my meeting for that. Bro is not smart. Like, he's been listening to my voice for the last however long. He gets on the phone with the same voice and he's like, I thought I was a transition person. Like, what the fuck? Thank you, Angry Vet. I appreciate you. This is wild. Ugh. Anyway, so this conversation started, we were talking about the cost of electricity. Thank you. I can't, Atropos, thank you so much. I still call you Casserole, if that's okay with you. We started talking about the cost of energy and how prior to the big beautiful bill being passed, I like to call it the shit sandwich, prior to being passed, that I said that we were going to be seeing, thank you, Kathy, an increase in our electricity bills come fall. Well, we're just now right here about at the beginning of fall. Fall officially begins September 21st. So we're seeing the end of the billing cycles for August, and many people are getting notifications that their increase in energy is going to begin in their next billing cycle. I personally have seen a 23% increase in the cost of my energy. I have Duke Energy as my energy provider. I do not have natural gas where I live. I just have electricity. So we're already seeing those effects. We've seen many people have told me personally that they've lost their SNAP benefits. And things are only going to continue to get worse. So what are we doing to fight back? Are we running for office? Are we protesting? Are we going to music festivals, if that's what you want to say? But many people have lost their jobs. We were talking about, John Deere firing 200, 300 people because of the cost of aluminum and steel due to the tariffs. We saw many federal workers lost their jobs. We saw an increase in the price of beef. We saw an increase in the price of produce. The increase in the price of produce was almost 39%, as 38.3%, something like that was what it came out with. We haven't seen an increase in jobs. We've seen a decrease in jobs, and when those numbers were reported, the person got fired for it. Guys, this is fascism. And if you don't see that, that's a problem. Now, if you voted for Donald Trump and you do see that, like, what are you doing now to rectify that situation? I can't afford to eat veggies. Nothing has happened from his administration that has been beneficial to the American people. And that's always the question that I have to ask people is, what has been beneficial in his last presidency and then this 8 months, because we are now officially 8 months into his presidency, has been done to benefit all people. We're seeing a gross waste of money with the increase in the budget on ICE, with National Guard soldiers. South Carolina's National Guard soldiers arrived in DC today. That's a waste of money. Why are we wasting millions upon millions of dollars when we have people who can't afford to live and eat? Why is that? Why are we not reallocating those funds to make sure that people have access to food and education and water and energy? But yeah, right, Kathy, but the White House sure did get a whole lot of fucking gold. We're gonna spend $200 million on a ballroom that nobody asked for? Why do you guys not care about that stuff? Why do you guys care about making fun of the way I look? Which, by the way, I'm fucking beautiful. I look like this with no makeup on, in a t-shirt. Like, bro, you should see when I do full beat. Like, and that picture That is me. And I do look like that when I get my picture taken. I'm sitting here in my room at my desk. I'm not gonna get all gymmed, dolled up for you. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? You don't fuck, feed, or finance me, friend. You just sound dumb. You sound bitter. You sound like an incel. Now, if you want to have a conversation about policy, you want to talk about current events, sure, cool, fine. But if the only thing that you're going to talk about is my appearance or if I've been fucked appropriately lately, this is a lot more about you than it does about me. TikTok didn't approve my appeal. Oh well. So we're going to be throttled here in this live. It's not going to push it out to the FYP unless you guys are interacting and sharing and doing the things that you got to do. And that's fine. It's okay. I love hanging out with all 115 of you. And we don't necessarily need more friends. But let's talk more about some current events. I got to go through some stuff. The jury acquits a Memphis man charged with organizing a 2021 kidnapper or unaliving of rapper. Who the fuck is this? I don't even know who this is. Young Dolph? I don't know who that is. If you called from a number with the 704 area code, we didn't answer it before because we were on the phone. Please, you can feel free to call back and have a conversation. I would love to talk to you. New York Appeals Court threw out Donald Trump's massive civil fraud penalty. Top aide to New York City Mayor Eric Adams is among 7 people facing new charges in the corruption investigation. There's a lot going on. Ukrainian startup is developing drones and missiles to take the battle to Russia. And if you're interested in that, the Associated Press had an inside look at one of their factories. So that's something cool to check out. You can check that out. What else is going on? We know about the Texas House. Yesterday, the Texas House passed the maps for gerrymandering, and Gavin Newsom said it's on. So come November 4th, if you live in the state of California. Oh, thank you so much, Jadira. If you live in the state of California, make sure that you are registered to vote, and you show up on November 4th and vote. However it is you're going to vote in favor of the new maps for California, I highly encourage you to vote in favor of them as a means to help protect democracy. Listen, Gavin Newsom is not my favorite person. He has done some really sketchy shit. He said some transphobic stuff. He spent a lot of time, more time than I would personally ever want to spend on a right-wing podcast, multiple podcasts. But I think right now he's the only one who has the fucking testicular fortitude to really to put his money where his mouth is. So if we don't see these other blue states who said they were going to do the same thing step up, then he's the only one. But right now, Gavin Newsom and his media team, whoever is running his social media is fucking hilarious. They're the only ones. He's the only one who has had the testicular fortitude to do anything, and I applaud him for that. Now, do I wish that he didn't do or say the things that he did? Sure, but nobody's perfect, and hopefully he's learned from that and will change his opinion, public facing, and address that in the future. But we'll see. We'll see. I know that it's easy to make ignorant comments about things that you don't understand, and hopefully he's become educated. Hello, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
It's going.
So I just, I was browsing by the lives, and I saw you talking about the gerrymandering in Texas. Mm-hmm. Have you actually looked at the new maps versus the old maps? Because to me, they actually look less gerrymandered. It looks a lot more cohesive.
Why do you think that?
I mean, just when you look at the maps, it looks a lot more like it's not weirdly cut up units and just regular blocks.
Well,
That's how it seems to me.
disenfranchises Hispanic and Black voters. The ACLU and other organizations have studied the demographics in the areas in which they were allocated previously to how they're allocated now, and it disenfranchises voters.
Interesting, because I've heard reports both ways, honestly. So I'm not sure why we necessarily believe one side more than the other about the makeup of the voters in the blocks. There's also, you're pushing for the new maps in California, which I'm finding kind of interesting because Texas is like, if you want to talk about gerrymandering, we can gerrymander back and forth, but
sure.
if we had accurate representation in the House, like totally, I ran it through ChatGPT a few days ago. Take every state and allocate the seats in proportion to how the voters go. If it's one of the 7 houses with 1 seat, then the majority gets the seat. California is, I think it's 40% Democrat, 40% Republican or 40% not Democrat. So then 4 out of 10 seats or 36 of the, no, how many is it? I think it was like, anyways, more seats would go to Republicans in California, to the point that the House makeup would have 222 Republicans, as opposed to the current 219. So it seems to me actually that we're kind of getting closer to a more accurate representation of what Texas is doing.
I don't agree with what Texas is doing by doing mid-decade redistricting. I don't think that
why
is
not?
appropriate, because the demographics, we haven't taken an accurate account of the demographics. We do the census every 10 years, and so because we do the census every 10 years, we should continue to redistrict according to the census so we have accurate demographics, so the representation is equal to that of what we know to be true of the areas.
Yeah, but we also have that as the last census significantly undercounted red states and overcounted blue states. So we already have Democrats getting more votes.
Where did you find that information?
I've heard it around a few sources. I don't have any in particular right now. And look, I'm open to being proven wrong. So go ahead, do some, whoever's listening, you go on, look it up. And look, if the facts don't check out, they don't check out. But I believe they do.
The burden of proof is on you. Like, did you hear it on a podcast? Did you read it somewhere? Like, just give me a general
I've read it.
idea.
I've heard it on podcasts. Like I said, I've been hearing it around various places. And I'm not sure if I actually saw anything concrete, but I do not have seen several people make the claim in various contexts. So it's definitely worth looking into. I'm not saying I'm for sure right. They could be wrong. We're all people. We're all, fallible, susceptible to misinformation and things like that, but I am saying it definitely bears looking into. Would you concede that if it's true, then what Texas is doing is a lot more reasonable?
So according to the last census, the 2020 census, states that gained seats were Texas, 2 seats, Colorado, 1 seat, Florida, 1 seat, Montana, 1 seat, North Carolina, 1 seat, Oregon, 1 seat. So the majority of that list of states that gained seats were red states. States that lost seats were California.
But that's not what I said. That's not relevant to what I said. I didn't say that red states didn't gain seats. I said that blue states were overcounted, red states were undercounted. They very well could have just gained more seats. That doesn't contradict what I said in any way.
Oh, I was getting to that, but all right. According to the census, Democratic states or blue states, we'll write exactly what you said. Blue states were overcounted.
Okay, which means that there are more Democratic votes. There's more voting power given to the Democrats than would be allocated if the census was done fairly. No?
I'm telling you that red states gained more seats than blue states. So if what you're saying is true, the opposite would reflect in how many representatives were gained.
That's not true at all. The two have no bearing on. No, the two have no bearing on each other, because it could very well be that the blue states should have lost, 3 seats, and the red states. Okay, go ahead. So get there, please.
Okay. Well, we'll go directly to the census.gov. According to that, it says which states had undercounts: Arkansas, Florida, Illinois, Mississippi, Tennessee, Texas. What had overcounts? Delaware, Hawaii, Massachusetts, Minnesota, New York, Ohio, Rhode Island, and Utah. But the list that I read to you, out of that list of the states that gained seats, Florida was one of them, Texas was one of them. Like, they still gained seats. So even with that over and under counting, they were still gaining representation in red states.
Okay, but if that representation is still not proportionate,
the state that you're saying
it's not as big a travesty as it would be.
It is proportionate, because as I'm going back, the states that you were saying that were blue states that were overcounting, actually Illinois lost a seat, New York lost a seat.
Okay, but they were overcounted, which means that if they were not overcounted, they would have lost more than 1 seat, and more than those seats would have gone to Texas and to Florida. Why not?
It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. If you overcount in Florida, you don't get more seats in Texas. It doesn't work that way. It's state by state.
No, you don't get more seats in Texas.
One
but well, they kind of do. When you limit the House to 435 reps, then it is kind of a zero-sum game. That if you overcount one, then you're going to be allocating more voting power than it belongs having. That's just the nature of...
What I'm telling you is that even though you're claiming that they overcounted in those states, which is true, in some of those states they overcounted, they still lost representation. So it negates it. It negates it.
No, it doesn't. Okay, let me ask you.
By the margins that... Okay, so what were the margins? You don't even know. You don't even know the only information that you're talking about. So go look up the information and call me back, and then you can argue with me as to what you're saying is true. Because the margins are not, they didn't overcount by significant margins.
My point is not that what I'm saying is definitely 100% infallible. My point is your response doesn't constitute something that refutes what I'm arguing.
I'm not refuting what you're arguing. I did say, and I did acknowledge that there were overcounts and undercounts in certain states. But what I'm also telling you is those states that there was overcounting, they also did lose representation. And states that they were undercounting, they gained representation.
But that's irrelevant.
That's what your argument is, friend.
No, my argument is that
even
the states that got overcounted...
is like, what the fuck are you talking about?
My argument is that states that got overcounted and lost seats nonetheless should have lost more seats. The states that got undercounted and still gained should have gained more seats.
But
the fact that the gains and losses happened is it doesn't...
Okay, you're giving me a fucking headache. You're giving me a fucking headache. I'm trying to explain it to you and trying to tell you the difference in the margins at which they overcounted. Barron, obviously he did. Obviously he did. The margins in which the under and over counts existed negated what you were saying. It completely negated what you were saying. The margin of error negated what you were saying when the states that were undercounted gained representation and the states that were overcounted lost representation. Like, you're just going to keep over-talking me and not listen to what I'm saying, then don't fucking call and talk. Like, this is wild. Anyway, I have an appointment I gotta go to, so I'm gonna get off of here. I will end on TikTok first. I'll address some of the comments in YouTube after I end on TikTok, and then I will go for the day. I'm turning the phone line on Do Not Disturb so that you cannot call me. So TikTok, can we get those last 4 popcorns for me before we go? Because I had to fucking listen to these men and their fucking shenanigans and tomfoolery today. We only have 4 of the popcorns left on there. I would appreciate it if you guys did it. Just a real quick recap for the day. We talked about electricity increases or energy increases being seen across the country. We said Virginia at 14% was one that I knew of. We saw Florida, where I am, at 23% with Duke Energy specifically. We still want to see the releasing of the Jeffrey files, which is not going to happen. The Texas maps passed the House, so it will have to go on to the Texas Senate to pass through there too, which I'm sure it will. What else did we see that was going on? We saw John Deere has laid off hundreds of workers because of the direct impact of the tariffs that they've already lost up to this point in the year. $300 million in revenue, and expect to lose up to $600 million in revenue by the first cycle of the year of tariffs there because of the cost of aluminum and steel. So we're going to continue to see jobs lost in that sector, which is also going to impact agriculture as a whole, as an industry as a whole. We saw an increase in the price of produce is being reported at just under 39%. We've seen an increase in the cost of beef. So we're seeing increase in costs everywhere, but we're not seeing savings to the American people. As we've talked about numerous times, the consumer is the one who ultimately pays the tariff. We're not seeing the job growth that's necessary in this country. When it was reported that the job growth was less than expected, the person who does that reporting, the statistician, was fired from their job. So we have a lot going on in this administration. I appreciate you guys hanging out for the day. It was really nice to see some of y'all here in the comments. I know it was a little bit of a headache. But we're gonna get off here on TikTok. If you guys are over on YouTube, hang out for just a minute. I'll go through some of the comments over there before I end completely for the day. I love you guys over there on TikTok. Make sure that you be good, and if you can't be good, be gay and do crimes. Love you, mean it. Bye. All right, YouTube, you got my attention. You got my attention, YouTube. What is it that y'all want to say? Because I know y'all be saying some crazy shit in the comments. So you have about 2 minutes before I end over here where you can tell me what it is that you want to tell me. Let me load up this multi-stream chat. It's going to take a minute for it to catch up, so just bear with me, but now's your chance. I finished my water for the day. It's so funny that I see like the same people come into like the live every day. Like y'all talk so much shit, but yet you watch me every day. Like why? Why do you hate watch? It's so weird to hate watch somebody. Thank you, Robert. What politician do I think is 100% transparent? None of them. Thank you, Ghost. I appreciate you. They are. You think I'm extremely passive-aggressive and have your own agenda, won't communicate. I'm sorry, Tim. Sorry you feel that way. Was that passive-aggressive enough for you? Peter's here every day calling me a bitch. Yes, Peter, I like it. Talk dirty to me. Call me a bitch again. I love it. Say something kind about yourself. My IQ is not room temperature. Oh man, I agree. I agree. Click call. I don't know what that is. I don't know what you're saying. Ram. No idea. Yeah, absolutely. They're threatened by it, Catherine. You're welcome, Peter. Peter, you're not gonna hurt my feelings, bro. If you want to say something mean to me, like you're really gonna have to try harder than that. Like you're not gonna trigger me. But I appreciate you engaging in the live every day because when you do that, you boost my watch hours, and boosting my watch hours actually gets me paid. So, you know. Oh, Shannon, yes, of course, says I'm ugly. I don't know what that means, Ram. I'm reading the comments. I don't take Zoloft, so I wouldn't know. I'm not a pharmacist or a pharmacy tech. So I couldn't answer that question for you, nor can I give you medical advice over the internet. That's it? That's all you guys wanted to say? That's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. All right. Everybody over here on YouTube, it's been great hanging out with you guys. It's been great hanging out with you guys. Some of the shit you guys say is wild as fuck, and I love you for it. Don't ever change. I like when you insult me. That's my kink. So, you know, keep talking shit. You get me all hot and bothered. But make sure you tell me I'm a good girl. Anyway, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Make sure that you do something kind for yourself because you're obviously not doing it for other people. Take care of yourself every day. Make sure that you come back tomorrow and talk shit to me because I like it. Everybody have a great day. Be good, and if you can't be good, be gay and do crimes. I'll see you tomorrow. Go